All right. Good evening, everyone. So, for the new moon of Aries, for those of you who know, this is literally the most powerful day of the year. Why? Astrologically. Why?
It's the beginning.
It's the beginning. It's the seed of everything. So in the next 12 days, each one represents the seed of the next day. So for example, today is Aries, so it's literally the seed of the seed of the seed of the seed. Tomorrow is Aries Taurus, which represents the seed of Aries Taurus, yes?
Today till tomorrow
Nighttime.
night
So we always start from sundown
to
sundown, right? Represents also, so today is Aries, tomorrow is Aries Taurus, right? And this is according, so we have started to teach our classes in the House of Wisdom according to the new moon in Lebanon, because sometimes we used to do it according to the centers, but now we actually do them according to the new moon in Lebanon. So for the next 12 days, each one starting from sundown represents أشرف إذا بدك تسمعون. Okay. Each day represents the seed of that astrological sign. So there are general recommendations. As we go through them, we will list them. I'm not going to go into much detail into that, but each one, what we're going to do is we're going to use its energy to enforce it and minimize its negative impact. Does that sound like a strategy for this year? So for example, we're going to begin with Aries, right? So what is the positive aspect of Aries?
Initiators.
They're initiators. What else?
proactive.
They're proactive.
They're creative.
They're creative. Okay. Ashraf? All right. Aries also has one of those foundational things is that they're warriors. They like to come out, right? They like to, initiate, to literally push those boundaries to the next level. So this is one of the aspects of Aries that you can today enhance in yourself. What's a character that Aries has that should be diminished?
Reactiveness.
Impatient.
Stubborn, but there's one that's very focused on our times in Lebanon right now.
Not finishing stuff.
They are confrontational with figures of authority, right? They're distrusting to figures of authority. Aries, usually as a sign, will have problems with their father or the male figure in their house, right? Or if not with the male figure, they will definitely have that with the mother figure, if the mother figure is the one that has strong authority in the house. So usually they have a problem with authority. And while this is, sometimes good because that's what gives them the power to create and innovate and push forward, that's also not a good time to constantly mistrust and constantly be doubting the government, the people in authority, the policeman, the sheikh, and especially with what's going on, to exhibit this quality of more trust towards them, right? Okay, so Aries, Taurus, what's an attribute of Taurus that's good?
Steadfast.
They're steadfast, they continue things. What else?
Resilient.
Huh?
Resilient.
They're resilient.
Good with money.
They're good with money. Tauruses, like usually, they are also one of those signs that bring in money into their life. So it's developing, if you don't have that, so we're going to list two things for Taurus because, some people already have that too much, so bring it into a balance. But if you don't have it, if you have an unhealthy relationship with money and sustenance, such as you don't love it enough, you think it's dirty, you think everybody who has money is a crook, then tomorrow is a time, or the second day is a time to bring out and induce love and healing towards your relationship with money or towards your relationship with anything. If you don't have any problems with the money, it is bringing out that steadfastness in you, the stubbornness to succeed, the stubbornness to make it work, right? What's a negative aspect of Taurus and besides lazy?
They like their comfort zone.
Like your comfort zone? Okay.
Inflexible. Not
They're inflexible, right? So one of those things that they're inflexible, they don't accommodate quickly to change. And this is something that needs to be very heavily addressed in times like this. We need to be flexible. We need to learn new skills. We need to develop ourselves and grow. All right. What about Gemini?
Good at the communication.
They're good with communication. What else are Geminis good at?
Adapting to change.
Adapting to change, right? So adapting to change, they're quick thinkers, they're communicators, they're easy on the heart, easy on the eyes, they're very, there is they're easy to get along with. What's the downside of a Gemini?
They don't follow through or finish what they start.
Okay,
They live in their bubble.
they live in their bubble. What else?
They know.
They lie, exactly. Geminis are very big liars, right? So this is also not a good time to lie, right? We have to also be honest, especially in our communication. There has to be some responsibility to that message that you just go think forward, right? Think of the consequences that you're creating, right? I cannot stress this enough. Those small things that we think are trivial, or those small jokes, right? And not coincidentally, and if you've been around here for a time, you would realize this. I don't usually, there's no coincidence in the House of Wisdom. I was telling them, about this bad salad that I did, that I told them it was energized with soulmates and everybody just ate it. That can sound funny, and that can sound like it's just a joke. But imagine if that salad had nuts. Or imagine, and someone had nut allergies. Or imagine if someone ate it and then said, well, you know what, I didn't find my soulmate, I'm gonna sue you. Right? If I was in America, no wonder I'm not teaching in America, right? So this would literally be, claiming claims that are not real, right? So we have to be a little bit more responsible with what we say. What about Cancer?
Empathic.
They're what?
Empathetic.
They're empathetic, okay? So they have the feeling to understand people and to feel with people. And it's a very good time to actually think, what does it feel like to be in your shoes? There is no emphasis, right, on understanding how difficult it is to be in someone's shoes. The other day, someone was crossing the street, a lady was crossing the street with 2 kids, right? And so someone next to me commented and they said, and I looked at them and I thought in my head, you know what? There isn't a stupid person out there. There are circumstances. Circumstances dictate. Never think that anybody is stupid. You don't know what the situation is. This cannot be stressed enough. The lady could have been in the supermarket, that child could have been shouting, maybe she didn't have enough money to buy whatever was for that child. And let's not take the cases of poverty. We can also take it, matwush rasa, she's tired, she didn't notice, she doesn't see well in the dark, right? Understand this. It is naive, right, to think that today human beings are stupid. There is no stupid human being. There is circumstances. And circumstances sometimes dictate and create who we are. It's wrong. We should rise above our nature, but, sometimes we should just be thankful that we even know this, right? That we should rise above our nature. Right. What's the negative aspect of Cancer?
I think insecurities.
Insecurity, fear, right? So you will see that all these qualities that we're talking about throughout the day, you're going to experience a lot of the negative aspect, and you need to push a lot of the positive aspect. So when you start to experience fear, you need to say, okay, fear is not an option. Fear is not an option. You need to use the tools that we will talk about, right? But it's now we're only focusing on the consciousness. All right. So fear is a very deep thing that, we all feel. Leo?
Leadership.
Leadership, ego. Anything else?
Good at bringing people together.
Okay.
Maintaining and sustaining a project.
Maintaining and sustaining a project. Anything else?
Big picture, seeing the big picture.
Seeing the big picture. Okay. But there's one aspect that I'm particularly looking for in Leos.
Fairness, justice,
fair.
and fairness.
Fair. They're very just and they're very fair. They like things that are fair. They like things that are just, right? That they, you know, it's you know, they're the ones that keep communities together. They're very just in the way that they deal with people. What about their downside?
Seeking attention
Exactly.
all the time.
Seeking attention all the time. They're very big on attention seeking, and it enslaves them to this reality of seeking attention. And this idea that, you know, at a time like this, we need to be powerful in bringing people together, maybe not physically, but just raising this awareness of please be there for each other. Please call your grandmother. Please don't leave these people alone, right? And, you know, understand this. It cannot be stressed enough. Loneliness, if I had the choice, I mean, la samahallah, but if I had the choice between being alone or having coronavirus, I would take coronavirus any day. Because being alone is depressive. I will just say one thing. I graduated in 2008, and I was very lucky to be a part of a community. But I can tell you one thing, that I remember when I graduated, and this is one of the prime reasons why in spirituality, I don't know if you know this, but my prime interest is money. Not because I love money, but because when I graduated, I was telling one of the teachers, the worst feeling in the world, I think there is no lower feeling than that, is no one wants your services. I think that's the worst feeling in the world. No one wants to hear from you, no one wants your services, no one wants your ideas, no one cares what you have to say. I think that's the worst feeling you can ever have. Right? Think the moment someone calls you, you have nothing to do. The moment someone calls you, you're like, right? That feeling that you matter is very important. So this understanding that while they can keep communities together, and that's a very important time to build that strength, they also are very enslaved, right? To being the center of attention, to getting it right, to proving they're strong, to all of these things, which does not allow them to channel light at its optimum, right? What's after Leo? Virgo. What are Virgos good at?
Keen to detail.
They're key detailed. What else? They're scrutinizers. What else? Judgmental. What else?
They can create a system.
I can create a system. Very good. But there's one thing that most Virgos are very good at. Very useful in times like this.
Money. Control money. Intuition.
Internal health. Internal health. They're very good internal doctors. They're very petty. They know exactly what to do in how many quantities, etc. Develop that skill from them to learn these small itsy bitsy, things to enhance your health. I have shared a post on my Facebook. Please, if you can listen to it, it's very important. It's not me who has shared it. To be honest, I've noticed that there are three types of speakers out there, right, about the coronavirus. The ones that have no clue, the ones that are very scared, right, and that know, right, I'm not saying they lack, but they're very scared, so they're transporting that across. And there are the ones that they know, right, but they are crap at explaining it, right, so they cannot transmit this information. The video I have shared is about, the reason I like it is because his name is Dr. Joseph Mkerzel. He is a biologist in Lebanon. If you have studied in Lebanon, all the biology and chemistry books that you have studied in from baccalaureate, terminal, and if you study that in university, he's the one that has written them, right? And what's really good about him is he's a teacher. He's been teaching. And he is good at explaining, right? So he gives you the message from a biologist perspective, and he's not selling you ideas. He understands fully well that he's Lebanese, that he cannot develop the cure. He's not selling you a cure. He's very realistic and saying, you know what, guys, you have to understand, no one has yet seen the coronavirus because there's only 5 microscopes in the world that can see the size of this coronavirus. Everything else that is being seen is the damage effect of the coronavirus. So they're seeing the post effect, right? That's easy to see on a microscope. And he explains it very well. So, and he explains what you can do in Lebanon. He's also, he's not like someone who's like, oh, no vaccines. Like, you know, I'm extreme on that. I'm like, no vaccines, live in la la land. He's not like that. He's very disciplined, but he also tells you, like, you know, taking huge quantities of vitamin C is just going to kill your kidneys right now. So, you know, there's much more in your body going on than that. So he's very good. Listen to him because he explains it well, not because what he's saying is different, but he explains it
On
well.
your Facebook page.
Yeah, on my Facebook page. Right, so I've shared his post. So basically, that's one of the things that Virgos are very good at, because one of the things he says is get it correct. 70 to 80% of these people are gonna catch this virus. You best teach your body and prepare your body to fight, right? Like this is literally it. The best, there is a film by Tom Cruise about aliens invading the world. It's very nice because one of the things he says is towards the end of the movie is, why did these aliens die? They were so much smarter. Have you seen the movie?
No.
It's a very interesting movie about alien invasion, etc. And he says, towards the end of the movie, he says, he says towards the end of the movie, he says, we have to understand as humans, we're not the smartest, we're not the best, but we have earned our right through evolution to be here. This is our environment, right? So this is literally, it's not like my body right now is literally fighting more than 1 million germs, right? That's how good it is, right? It knows exactly what it's doing. Give it the chance to become a better fighter. Don't hide its skills, don't hide its tools, right? So this is one of the things. What are Virgos bad at?
Self-judgment.
Self-judgment, right? This is not a time to scrutinize yourself, right? This is very important. Most of us now, sometimes because we're bored, we're like, شوفوا هيدا شو عامل بحياته أنا ماني عامل شيء بس لأطلع من الكورونا رح أعمل, right? Rise above that. Don't scrutinize yourself. It's not the time for this. So avoid that on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th day, right? On the Libra, 7th day, God created man. Fantastic. What's the good side of Libra?
They're balanced.
They're
unbalanced.
They're unbalanced, no. But what's the
They
good
can look at both sides.
They can look at both sides, exactly. So they're not balanced, but they can see all sides of the story, right? They're very good at seeing all sides of the story. What's their downfall?
Indecisiveness.
Can't decide, right? So, but what is something that has to do with this year's energy in Lebanon, in the Middle East, that's not about undecisiveness? Something else.
Ask us again, please.
What is something specific to Libra at this time that is, you know, that's more appropriate for this time besides indecisiveness?
To make charitable stuff.
No?
Uh, uh,
Libra. So focus on Libra.
oh, okay, balance.
Exactly. It's the sign of balance. But what else? They're codependent.
They need someone.
They're codependent in their relationships. So moving away from codependency, they look to the person to become, right? So this is very important that we remove ourselves from any codependent issues. Scorpio.
Yeah, super.
Still divided.
My family.
His family. What's a good thing about Scorpios?
Business.
They're very successful.
They feel a lot.
They feel a lot, okay?
They can sense.
So we've already spoken about success driven,
They
so
fight.
focus. They fight. Scorpios
Hey, they are good
علي
fighter.
وعلى أعدائي kamikaze يعني. You know what the kamikaze
They are
is?
good
It's like,
fighter.
they're a good fighter. They like to control. Control is one of the things that
But sometimes
kills the
it's good.
Scorpios, but it's good. Control your finances, control your anger, control your helplessness. Learn to control thyself. Not love thyself. You will love thyself if you learn how to control thyself. Right? There's a very smart Sadiq, right? He's known to be actually the gate of wisdom, right? In one of his books, he says, a greatest man is a man who's controlled his desires. Not controlled his desires, meaning he has no desires, but he's controlled them. He knows when to go, when not to go. He's literally mastered this, what we call in Kabbalah, the reactive system, right? So that's the beautiful thing about Scorpio. So please inject that seed on that day by doing an action of control on yourself. What is a action that Scorpios are not good at?
Forgiveness.
Letting go.
Forgiveness, right? Forgiveness. This is one of the things. They're unable to forgive. And it cannot be highlighted enough. Forgiveness is an attribute of the strong. Remember this. A strong person is very able to forgive. If you're a weak person, you cannot forgive because you always think, oh, poor me, and this was done to me. But a strong person has risen above that. They've forgotten about that. Sag, what is a Saji?
Fun,
Fun, okay.
growth.
Lucky.
Lucky, okay. What about their downfall?
They are not consistent.
They're not consistent. Believe in luck. Create on that day the believe in luck by saying to yourself, I'm lucky. I'm lucky. Maybe throw a dollar out of your window knowing that no one else was going to take it and go out and be like, oh, I once dropped some money on the street, right? I didn't know this. I once dropped some money on the street and I'm like, and then I found it and then I'm like, oh my God, I found some money. And then I'm like, I'm going to give it to charity. And my mom's like, please stop, please stop. You just dropped all your money on the floor. It's not like you just made this kind of money. So, right? So it's very important, right? Bring out that feeling of luck. Ask a friend, maybe today, and forget about it, right? Let
I
them
love
throw,
when I find money.
right? So find something that's
I
lucky.
found 10
Maybe,
pounds in the
maybe get a voucher, hide it, put some money in your jeans, whatever it is. Create an opportunity to believe in luck again, right? What's a downfall of Sagittarius? They're not consistent, but what else?
They got bored very easily.
They get bored very easily. Okay, what else?
مثل مين Sagittarius؟
They're not emotional.
بس
Yeah, they're not.
Avoid
Avoid confrontation.
Avoid confrontation. They're not emotional, but something that's useful for now.
fear
They
of the future.
don't plan.
Huh?
Fear of the future.
Gamblers.
They're gamblers, okay? But
You're looking for a specific thing?
for something that's specific for this year in Lebanon,
They're
right?
cheaters.
What is it?
They are, no, it's not that they're cheaters. Not because they're lack of consistent and not because they don't plan, but they don't follow through, right? They just don't follow through, right? They just, hey, they are intellectualize it so much, they think they know it and they're off to the next thing. Don't think you know it. Don't assume you know it. Stick to it. Go deeper, right? So go deeper, right? Do not allow that day to just ride you on its glory. Capricorns,
Steadfast.
steadfast, okay. What else?
Very economical.
They're wise with money, right? It's a good time to be wise with your money. Understand this, fear of the unknown, the Creator is going to provide. Everything you need is already here. Trust that, know that, you're gonna find it. But it doesn't mean be wasteful, right? And wastefulness literally means having a light on in a room that you're not in. That's wastefulness. But hiring a driver is not wastefulness. That's, creating a job for someone else. Understand that the idea of waste is not the same as growth, right? And desiring more. And I'm giving this example of a light bulb in a room because it's so small compared to something like, اخذت الفاليه استعملت البنغولي بالسوبر ماركت انه شو شايفه حالها. No, it's okay. If you're gonna tip him 1,000 or 2,000 at the end, it's really okay, right? So these are the things. Be money wise, right? And differentiate between stinginess and waste. Those are the things. All right. شو يا زياد؟
نحن ما عندنا نيجاتيف سايد.
All right, so what's your positive side?
مين Aquarius?
Yes,
Yeah, they are good.
they're perfect,
We're
okay?
creative.
You're creative,
But we created perfection.
They're the center of attention.
right? They have their mission driven. They have missions, they have visions, they want to change,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. One
So
vision.
have that, right? Create one. Why is mission very important in life? Mission is
drive.
purpose. Mission is purpose, right? Whatever you create, you decide to live for it. It makes you happy. It energizes you. It gives you energy. What's the downside?
The mission can take over.
What?
The mission can take
Okay,
over.
but
They're
something relevant.
They don't need anyone.
They don't need anyone. That's very good. They don't need anyone. What they do is that they alienate people, right? They're like me, myself, and I, and in my head and in my thoughts, and they don't allow people to come near them enough to help them, to sustain them, so they're not able to create communities that create impact, right? What about the last one? Pisces. Pisces.
You know? We lack a backbone.
You lack a backbone? No, that's not it. Right? Addiction. Addiction is the downside, right?
مين؟
Addiction. Pisces. Right? Try to stay away. Keep yourself on surface, but try to stay away from things that will promote behaviors that are addictive. Behaviors that are addictive are smoking, alcohol, drugs, sex, gambling.
Lying.
Lying is also addictive behavior. Over talking is addictive behavior. Under talking is addictive behavior, right? So it's many things that can become addictive. What's the good thing about Pisces?
Because it's a waste of time.
They see the bigger picture.
They connect things together. But
They connect things together, right? So find opportunities or ways to rise above. And I want to highlight, please, 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 right? Pisces, use that day to connect things that can bring in more creativity, more something different, right? I've given this example numerous times. I used to have a friend who's an interior designer, right? She literally made a table that goes up and down and opens and closes, right? From one idea, right? Like a connectedness of ideas. And the idea that she came up with, it's so genius, it's stupid, right? It's so, you know, like when you look at it, you think, oh my God, that's genius. But then you realize it's only like one maneuver. It's like so stupid. It's like, I didn't even think of this, right? So try to bring yourself to that level of genius throughout the day.
How?
Find something to inspire you, right? The energy in the cosmos is already helping you do that. Look at the clouds, look at your phone, look at your life, right? Those are things. How are you going to use those tools? What does that practically mean? Starting from tonight, you go and you enhance that attribute. You do more of it. You think in that way. And whenever the negative attribute arises, you try to diminish it or pull it down or not focus on it or not give it energy. That's the number one tool. You can also use the 72 names, the Ana Bekoach, right? Those are all things, scanning the Zohar, those are all things that bring in the light, scanning the Quran, whatever it is. There is also a very powerful meditation that you can do if you come from a Muslim background. You can do listening to the Quran, right? So it's an audio, and like you close your eyes and you go into a meditative state. For the Christians, you can do the same thing with the rosary, right? So, you know, like Masbaha. For those of you who connect to mantras, if you're a Kabbalah student, you can decide to listen to readings of the Zohar. You can decide to listen to the readings of the Ana Bekoach or the 72 names, right? It's the same idea. All right, so these are the things. Very quick preparation for Pesach, which is, so very important dates throughout the month of April, right? On the 4th of April is the best alignment. If they're going to find a cure for the coronavirus, meaning the idea of how to approach the coronavirus, whether medically or politically or economically or whatever, the best chance or the best opening they have is when Jupiter goes into Jupiter and Pluto align in Sagittarius, which is on the 4th of April, right? That's the best alignment. That's going to give them the opportunity to do this if they're going to be able to do this. So that's a really powerful day to connect to the ability of wisdom, growth, and solution finding, right? Lucky solutions, right? The idea of antibiotics with penicillin and the makhta والبزاق وما بعرف شو هيدي, the whole story of how they discovered antibiotics, right? So that's one of the things. Preparing yourself for Pesach means from today, you're able to start cleaning your house, clean your books, anything that's old, declutter, right? Anything that's old, start cleaning it out. Start cleaning your house, clean your life, clean your desktop, right? Anything that you can start to clear out, okay? It's a very powerful time to clean, right? But not because of the corona, we do this every year, right? It's called spring cleaning, right? So it's a very important tool. And for those of you who are able to do that, start to think of things of when you're cleaning, have the consciousness, I'm cleaning away my ego. So the more you can bring yourself to the level of consciousness, why do I need these glasses? Why did I buy them, right? See where your ego prompted you to do these things, to accumulate this clutter in your life, because this clutter in your life is also part of your, everything in your life is your vision board, right? Everything is there because of your reasons. So while you're decluttering or while you're cleaning, don't just make it a made thing, right? Start to think, why did I buy this? Where is this from? Well, it's been new. It's been new for how many years? 5 years? Why has it been new for 5 years? Why didn't I wear it, right? Why didn't I have the courage to wear it? Start to ask yourself while you're cleaning, what, right? Why is this in my life, right? Why do I have this object in the beginning? Is it to enhance your appreciation, or is it to show you that you waste money, right? All of these things. Pesach, which is coming up, عيد الفصح يعني ببلش هلا ب 8 April. I will send you exactly the dates. It's a very important night. It's the second most important Kabbalistic date in the year. Okay, there's many important dates in Kabbalah, but right, it's the second most important date. Why? Because this is the time when the vessel becomes a vessel, right? Because on Rosh Hashanah, we receive the light, but now we create the vessel, right? So what most of us don't understand is that we're creating the vessel. You want to create a pure vessel, right? And it is said that this has literally the ability to lift the veils of your ego. It is said that if you do Pesach really well, which, you know, is very elevated consciousness, you will be able to see all of reality. You will be able to see everything. You'll be able to see angels, you'll be able to see the upper worlds and the lower worlds, everything. Why? Because our inability to see is because of our clutter. Does that make sense?
How do we do Pesach?
How do we do? So Pesach is an entire ritual that I can send you how to do it in your own home. That's okay. I'm not going to go through the details right now because there's food that you need to do. There's some specific bread that you need to do. There's also, but the two most important consciousnesses are the decluttering and the knowing that it has the ability to lift the veils of your ego. Yeah? Does that make sense? It is a bit compared Islamically, and it's coming up now, so it's also a good time, right? They say الأشهر الأربعة لذو الحجة, the ones that prepare you for Hajj, right? This is the Pesach. It's very much compared to that same kind of consciousness or teaching. Does that make sense? All right. So again, it's also the same thing about Jesus, the preparation for his immortality, right? The ability to see everything that is created. All right. Any questions, you guys, before we stop the thing? All right. So these are the important dates. The 12 dates, the 4th of April, 10th and 11th of April. Yeah. Question? No? Right?